tit. I'm searching for some man tit, and I wanna hold it in my mitt. I can wait a little longer for the thing that I'm gonna do. I got me a baby boy, and I'm going to raise him on steroids too. I'm searching for some man tit, and I wanna hold it in my mitt. Get off, Louise, I've gotta go. Hey babe, pop those buttons and let some man tit show. Big balloons sail away. I'm searching for some man tit, and I wanna hold it in my head. Hey babe, I'm gonna pop my buttons and let my man tit show. I've got this t-shirt, and I know it'll shrink to fit, so I'll still go on searching for some man.
Uncircumcised twin, he's at it again. He always gets ahead, 'cause he's got a little extra. Uncircumcised twin is Sally's best friend.
He can't whip with a short arm scissors and a flying drop kick. Somebody's
using its state of rest for uniform motion in a straight line, unless impressed forces act on it. Law 2. The change of momentum per unit time is proportional to the impressed force that takes place in the direction of the straight line along which the force acts. Law 3. Action and reaction are always equal and opposite. I said equal and opposite. Again equal and opposite. Once more equal and opposite. Again equal and opposite.
And hello there, everybody. Welcome to the radio show, another installment of the Brian Turner program, brought to you every 2 weeks by Clorox. And we are jamming it out today on a post 4th of July program. Unfortunately, I blew off both my hands last night during the fireworks, and I actually lit the M80, then threw the matches, so I need help today. So Tom Lax is going to take over and do the program today, and I think we're here. Hi, Tom.
Hey, Brian.
How you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
This is all right. I like this situation. It's weird because usually when we're doing our show at FMU, I have to run around and cue and type, and now I'm actually looking at your face and your house. It looks
Yeah,
good.
well, that was when you had hands, but
Yeah,
it was years ago.
Yeah, this might be a very clumsy show, so if you could just handle it from your end, I'm just going to watch. Is that okay?
Sure.
I might go cut that pineapple, too, that I got. So,
Yeah.
all right, we'll get it going. How's everything going in Philadelphia and in Silt Breeze land?
It's great. I mean, like, Philadelphia's fine. It's just, it's like a gold rush city, like most cities these days. Everyone's just speculating. But with Still Breeze, I mean, there's like really not much going on. I got a new CIA debutante record in the pipeline. So looking forward to that.
Very cool. Yeah, it's been quite a while. Tom and I, in case you're just tuning in for the first time, did a program together every year on WFMU for what, like 10 or 11 years, I think. Right?
I think it was 11. Yeah, I think 11 years. Yeah.
Yeah, our last one was 2017.
Yeah.
Oh, how much has happened in 4 years. How about that? But thank you for coming back. I'm
Sure.
so stoked to reconnect. And, well, we've been connected, but it's nice to have you back on my show again. I figured out how to do this thing. And also for
We're all glad that you're back, Brian. I mean, like,
Yeah.
It was a void while you were not there.
I actually joined the band Void. That's where I was for the last 4 years. We played a lot of weddings, unfortunately, so then I quit.
The new void.
But we're here for you, and also, for the uninitiated, Tom brings a ton of records that I've not heard for the most part, and I'm sure many listeners have not heard either. But we go through the bag. Tom is an insanely astute tastemaker and collector, and knows kind of all the good stuff between the cracks. He's had many years of record collecting. You lived in England for a while too, right?
Oh, no, I've never.
Oh, you were in England for some time.
Yeah, I've been in England a few times, yeah.
Right. So you collected a lot of pretty cool DIY artifacts.
Well, like we've always said, I mean, like this stuff was pretty much trash for most people back in the day, in the late 70s, early 80s, when I was like at the apex. There were no returns, so things just went out in like budget bins, and like they would be $1 and they'd be 2 for $1, 3 for $1, something like that,
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. So much stuff came out in the period of like the kind of stuff we're playing, like 79 to 83, 84, 88. And, a lot of people heard about the big names. A lot of people waxed a lot about bands, but there's just so many that fell between the cracks, and so many that deserve to be reheard, and quite a few, making their way into influencing stuff today. So we just played a set, and we started off, well, the last 4 songs, actually. What did we hear, Tom? We heard 49 Americans just now.
Oh, the 49 Americans, that was off their, I think their first 7-inch, reciting Newton's Laws. That was a band that featured Nag and Bendel from the Door in the Window, but they were a collective. They'd have a lot of people like Steve Beresford, David Toop, Vivian Goldman.
Yeah, all those kind of people bled onto each other's records. Everybody sort of floating around, a different week, different band. So yeah, that sounded pretty great. And then behind that, we heard the Turnbuckles.
We heard the Turnbuckles doing Super Destroyer Mark II on the Breaker label out of Minneapolis. Super Destroyer Mark II later became Sergeant Slaughter. That's always the apocryphal story. Maybe it's true. I have no idea.
And behind that, we heard some stuff from Texas.
Yeah, Plastic Idols from Dallas. They were kind of like a Danger House-esque band. That was their second 45. And then Mantit from New York City started the set off with Mantit.
Were they part of any kind of no-wave scene or anything?
I have no idea. That was like one of those rescues from CBGB's Canteen years ago.
Yeah.
I remember the only mention I've ever seen of the record was in a Forced Exposure interview with Sonic Youth 40 years ago. And they were kind of like, referencing it and making fun of it. But that's all I've ever seen written about it.
Well, they're back on the radio today. Collecting royalties.
Maybe for the first time.
getting their box set together. And Plastic Idols, I remember them were they on that Too Late for the Trend sampler, I think, too? Maybe?
That may have been, well, maybe they were. I can't remember. That was a Dallas compilation.
Yeah, I remember those.
I remember it was all on there.
Yeah.
But that was a great comp.
Sounds awesome. Cool. Well, let's dig back into the bag. This next band, Lucky Pierre, I just heard of them recently. I was in a record store in my neighborhood, and somebody kind of threw it on for me and said, oh yeah, Trent Reznor was in this band, right?
Well, I think he was. I'm not sure when. I used to see them a lot when I was in college at Ohio University. They were one of the bands that would come down to Athens and play. He may have been in the band then. I don't know. That was like in the 79 to, like early 80s. This is just Kevin... I forget the guy's name. It was like the main guy in the band, and I think the drummer, and it was like just a radio promo 45 and an etched B-side. I think there's 100 of them. That's the one everybody wants, is this 45, and it's impossible to find.
I think some kind of bootleg LP is out now or something.
Yeah, they have an album, and then there's a version of the song that's like a little bit more, cleaned up on a 12-inch EP, but. Well, I think this is the one that I would if I had to think about Lucky Pierre, this would be the song I'd want.
All right, let's check into this. This is Lucky Pierre. We're with Tom Lax here on the program. By the way, you can listen to all our past shows at brianturnershow.com. They're downloadable on Apple Podcasts, and you can listen to them on Mixcloud. And we are also broadcast the show on Efferalgang in Paris, which comes up on Wednesdays at 10 a.m. Eastern, and you can watch along with YouTube. And then Thursday, we are on Veneno in Sao Paulo, Brazil, as of recent. So we're getting around, Tom. So we're gonna
Mantit in Brazil.
Mantit in Brazil. All right, let's check into Lucky Pierre. We'll be back with Tom Lax, folks.
Drop your senses out and try blickar. Bräller så förbannat, tar mig samman och försöker förstå hur man gör en bokstablå. Hur jag än gör så blir det fel. Jag tänker bara på flickor. Ute skiner solen och vad jag längtar dit. Tänk att få slippa sån här jävla skit. Du läser och du läser och du läser och du läser och du blir en förläst jävel. Du läser och du läser och du läser och du läser och du blir en förläst jävel.
Sonne brennt meine Gehirnzellen nieder. Wenn ich auf dem Parkplatz des Supermarkts liege, und die Lautsprechermusik plätschert vor sich hin, und ich dachte glatt, Mann, jetzt liegst du hier im Sand auf Hawaii. Blau strahlt der Himmel und die Eingeweide harmonieren. Die Sonne geht unter, es wird jetzt kühl. Der Staub weht über den Asphalt. Ich setz mich in die U-Bahn und fahr nach Haus. Und ich dachte glatt, Mann, jetzt liegst du hier im Sand auf Hawaii. Blau strahlt der Himmel und die Eingeweide harmonieren.
All right, folks, we're back here on the program, joined by Tom Lax from Silk Breeze Records, finest thing out of Philadelphia since the TV show Angie, and we are happy to have you here once again. What did we just hear in that set, Tom?
Well, that was the Fungus Brains doing Hairbrush off their phenomenal first 12-inch EP called Ron Pisto's Real World. I think Load reissued that record a few years ago, but it's worth tracking down. It's a great record.
From Australia. There's a
Australia.
Venom P. Stinger connection, I believe, right?
And Mick Turner's in both those bands.
Cool.
I don't know who. I can't remember if there's anybody else in Fungus Brains and Venom P, but definitely Mick Turner.
And behind that, something out of Germany, right? Phosphor?
Yeah. Phosphor from Hanover. They were on the No Fun label, which I guess most people would know that label from the 39 Clocks discography. They were on No Fun.
And the band before that I knew from the Cleveland comp, right?
Menthol Wars. That was off that great Cleveland Confidential. That was Robert Longo, the blue chip artist.
Cool.
I mean, like most people might know him from Glenn Branca's Ascension cover, but yeah, great song. It's such a great template, that song.
Yeah, he did MTV ads for a while too, like fancy downtown MTV looking ads.
Cool.
And that Cleveland Confidential is just the greatest comp. I hadn't heard it till the recent reissue, but was that a Perubu release? It says it's on Terminal Records, but
It was Mike Hudson from the Pagans. He did that label.
oh, cool, yeah.
And there's a lot of Pagans-related stuff on there. That was like that summer. I lived in Cleveland that summer, and like the Easter Monkeys were playing around a lot, so I got to see them a few times.
And behind that, we heard
12 Cubic Feet, which was a band out of England, Paul Platypus, on the Name Drop label. If you know the Philip Johnson LP Youth in Mourning, that was the same label as that.
from a record called Straight Out of the Fridge.
Yeah, it's a 10-inch.
From
Great record.
Something from a Swedish band. I think I've heard of these guys.
Yeah, well, there was a retrospective that came out of them a few years ago. I think they're called Hår för Stausa. That's a great song, though.
We heard Forlast Javel from 1980. And then we started off with that great Lucky Pierre track as well.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, let's keep digging into the bag. And hope you're all enjoying the show with Tom today. I think we got some New Zealand thing coming up next that I've not ever heard of before.
Yeah, an artist named Mary Briefcase. I think a Wellington performer. This is from the album. But I think there's also a 12-inch I've never seen. But, kind of like, ethereal, wave. I don't know how you describe it, but pretty cool record.
All right, well, let's dig into that. That's coming up next. Mary Briefcase here on the program, everybody. Stay with us, please.
on a humpback bridge. Marches to the cause 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 on a humpback bridge. On a humpback bridge. Marches to the cause 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 on a humpback bridge. Marches to the cause. Yeah, alright.
All right, we're back here on the show, digging through some 7 inches, 10 inches, some LP tracks from Mr. Tom Lax. And what do we hear in that set, Tom?
Well, the last song we heard was the Gluings, a band from Switzerland, who most people might know under the beloved name Grauzone. But Grauzone was Gluings for 2 studio 45s and a live 45.
Oh, wow. This is before Grauzone?
Yeah, kind of like the, like Urinal's 100 Flowers thing. They just kind of like changed the name and went in a different direction.
Cool. And behind that, we heard Doof.
We heard Doof, also a name drop, that Paul Platypus label that was where 12 Cubic Feet was from.
Treat Me Like the Man I Am from their Exist record.
Filibuster with synthesizer or keyboards.
Yeah, that sounded
and
great.
And then the Foams from Austin, Texas did Paint Me.
And what was their story? Were they kind of...
They were like this, like female band. That's the only record they ever did. And like you would find those records sometimes that like they're all like hand colored and hand painted. And it sat around for years. I don't think anyone cared. And now it's a huge, just for lots of money. Pretty funny. But yeah, a cool 45. And then the Delinquents behind that, also from Austin, doing Do You Have a Job for a Girl Like Me? A conscientious song of not wanting to be on welfare, despite all the negative attributes that she has. And the Delinquents are probably the most famous for doing an LP with Lester Bangs.
Oh, that's right. Right.
Yeah.
I remember that one Lester Bangs LP that came out when I was in college. That was the backing band. Oh, cool.
And then Anima, who was, I forget her name, she's a performer from Japan. That's from the Cities EP. And she's also related to a project called DRY or Dry Project, who have 2 amazing 45s that are impossible to find, but I think they're on YouTube. They're worth checking out.
Yeah, I was looking up that label, LLE, from Japan, and I didn't recognize any of it at all, but it all looked kind of interesting stuff.
Yeah, that's like way inside there, but cool stuff. I mean, you'll never see it, but it's great stuff.
It sounded vaguely like that new kind of chill new age Prince Rama thing you hear these days.
Yeah, I mean, like I never owned this 45. I just found it like in wormholes through the years, but it's a cool sound. It's kind of like a late night thing. I mean, for me, it's just kind of like a mellow, kind of chill 45.
And we hear something else from Japan too behind that.
And then Taco on the Pinakothica label, their album. The song, I have no idea what the title is, but a great kind of like Japanese rock and opposition band. They kind of like stole some, Faust moves and some, I don't know, like Slap Happy and stuff like that, which I don't know if you read David Hopkins' book about, what's the name of the noise band? Hydrokaiden. But they talk about how like that whole Canterbury scene was very pivotal in a lot of like in discovering punk rock and alternative music in Japan back in the day.
Yeah, well, didn't Few wind up doing something with Faust or Slap Happy or something like that, I think, as well?
I think Few did, that first time has the Can guys on it.
Right.
And she may have done stuff with some Canterbury bands. I don't know. I don't know about that.
Yeah, and that Pinakothica label, too, is just chock full of amazing stuff. I'm surprised.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like, it's like free jazz, and that was like the first Hino record. They put that out.
And we started off the set with Mary Briefcase.
Mary Briefcase.
Sounded a bit snappery, kind of even, like kind of predating the little snapper New Zealand sound on that.
Maybe. I mean, like, I wouldn't be surprised if Peter Gutteridge didn't know about Mary Briefcase.
But I looked at that label, too. I didn't see, like, anything else much on that label, so it must have been a really kind of...
I think it's just a private press thing.
Press thing, yeah.
2 records. One is a 12-inch I've never seen. And this album.
Well, we're always getting hip to great New Zealand stuff through Tom, of course. And, let's move on. We've got more stuff to play for you. I think there's some more New Zealand stuff coming. I think we're going to dip into some Ohio in this set as well. What do we have next?
Well, we're going with a Bitter Lesson, a band from England that has connections. I think they were somehow a faction of the Crass collective, but I'm not really sure.
Yeah, this was on the 96 Tapes label, somewhere around 1982.
This was a cassette track, and one of the guys, the main guy in this band, was in the Faction, who did a bunch of records back in the early 80s. But that was a more punk. This is kind of, I like this because it's just a warts and all kind of like, kind of an anthemic song.
Cool. Let's check into this. This is This Bitter Lesson, and we'll be back with some more stuff. Stay tuned, everybody.
People crushed into office cell, but in the race like a sound of bell. Cost of living and the crime of pain. Rednecks playing the ultimate game. Shoot one another in the back. Get him first, we'll be safe from attack. your taste, but it's not quite my choice. Children chat to the dirty old man. They're a strange couple to understand. They've all seen life with different eyes. Seen blood red ground and still blue sky. Blue sky, still blue sky.
1, 2, 3. Wish away for one touch of her hair, and no darkness there. What I have seen, what I have been, will not follow me tonight. I will return to say these things I wish away. I wish away for one touch of her hair. There's no darkness there. What I have seen, what I have been, will not follow me tonight. I will return to say does it steal golden seeds of corn? Each new day I born, darkness looked my way, darkness turned away, became my only one, rising like a sun. Love never turn away, change is not today. Love, looking into my eyes, dreams have taken flight. Love, never turn away, change is not today. Love, looking into my eyes, dreams have taken flight.
got here came through my world without a sound. If you can tell me how you were crowned, we know the underground. I will not ask you many questions about your past, where you came from. You don't have to give me case history. We know the underground. I heard your name spoken by Kim Fowley. He tried to sign you and you turned him down. I heard your music on a tape that Arliss had. We know the underground. We know the underground. We know the underground. I heard you're in this one. I heard you keep coming round. And now you're there across the table from me. We know the underground. We know the underground. We know the underground, motherfucker. Underground. We know they're underground, motherfucker. With V3, that was Queen of the Underground. We started with Harry.
Hey, boy. Let's go over to Tommy J's. Hey, Tommy, you got any acid? We could mix down Ted's song. I've got $20 for Budweiser. Papers only cost 75 cents. It's good sense. Shepard gave it to me. Ron coming over with Manic? You better set up the video, Tom. Hey, it's Ted. Freight train, come on in. Squid's here. He's upstairs fucking around on the drums. They call me my grip and the quota.
know I have.
And welcome back, folks. Taking a tour of the record collection of Tom Lax here on the program today. Thanks for joining us. Once again, you're listening to the Brian Turner radio program, brianturnershow.com, and downloads from Apple Podcasts and all that good stuff. If you want to email us, by the way, you can as well, btradio85@gmail.com. We love checking out music and hearing from y'all. But as I said, I'm a bit handicapped from the 4th of July today, so Tom has taken over, and we just heard Perubu, an old favorite.
Yeah, from Dub Housing. Everyone loves a good dance song.
On Chrysalis Records, our one major label track of the day.
Yeah.
And, you know, Perubu just put up a ton of stuff on Bandcamp from all these live gigs. A lot of really, really early ones, like 75.
I heard
79.
some of those tracks on one of your shows from a couple weeks ago or something.
Yeah.
That Brantonall show with the Cramps out in Bay Village. Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, you were seeing them when you were in Cleveland?
I saw them a few times back like maybe 3 times. I was in Athens, and it was like in the southeast corner of the state. It wasn't really that easy to get to anywhere. Columbus was the closest city to see shows, but yeah, I saw them. I guess I saw them 3 times up through Art of Walking, and then they took that break and came back with Chris Cutler and Jim Jones and all this stuff in the late 80s. Remember?
Yep.
But yeah,
I recorded them on my very last day at WFMU. They were coming through. I think they had the guy from the Swans on pedal steel. It was kind of a wild set. And they were about to go out on the road. But yeah, Ubu Dance Party from Dub Housing, fantastic record. And what do we hear behind that, Tom?
A guy called Matches from the duo of Matches and Nicodemus. Do you know those guys? They were like a Michigan or maybe Detroit-based biker rock band, everyone loses their shit over Circuit Rider, but these guys made, dozens of records. But this is Match's only solo outing, which is kind of a weird biker disco song.
Was that a relation to the Nicodemus, that kind of loner psych record that Paul Major always kind of talked about? Is that the same?
I think
Nicodemus?
Paul Major did a compilation of Nicodemus and Match's 45 songs.
So, yeah.
I think Parallel World, if there's an album on that label, yes, it would be the same guy, I think.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that was pretty cool. From 1982. And some more Ohioism behind that.
The Nudge Squidfish from the 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. I can't remember what it's called, but that's that little ode to Mike Rep, the label founder.
There's several songs out there about Mike Rep, I think. He gets name dropped, right?
Well, he attracts an audience.
It's a bon vivant. And behind Nudge Squidfish, some more sort of related.
V3 track Queen of the Underground, which was on the Ego Summit album. I don't think it was ever on a V3 album, from a live show in '97 that Mike put out on the Old Age. He did like a CDR of it, and then it got bootlegged by somebody, I don't know, like 5 or 6 years ago. So there was copies on vinyl floating around for a while.
V3 is just amazing stuff for listeners who may not dug into the whole vertical slit V3 thing, who actually wound up on a major label for like 10 minutes. I remember seeing them play in New York around that time of the album. Amazing. It was in every dollar bin after that. But
Jim had amazing. A way of just making it sound effortless. He would I think this show was with the Bass Holes and the Strapping Field Hands, and him just showing Sam Brown and Leland Kane the chords right before they went on for this song. So they'd never played it before.
Yeah, and thanks, by the way, you sent me that vertical slit DVD, which is totally brain-frying of live stuff.
Whoever the people were that did that, it was like a French imprint, but they did a good job. I hadn't seen that in probably 30 years. I forgot I even had I had to dig up the VHS to make sure I still had it.
It seems like the spirit of Eno loomed large over all these guys in
absolutely,
Ohio.
Yeah.
Would you agree? Yeah, definitely, especially the early solo records or whatever. I always kind of see these guys like exploring those same avenues and such.
I think for Jim is more like like Vandergraaf and Eno, and maybe for Tommy and Mike, it was more like Lou Reed and the Velvets. But
right, yeah, Cleveland was much more Lou Reed and the Velvets, I think. But like as you went into Ohio, there was a lot more prog turned into punk, maybe, so to speak. Who knows?
Yeah.
And then something else from New Zealand behind that, from Goblin Mix, a favorite.
The Goblin Mix, yeah. Our old friends Alf Danielson and David Mitchell. Alf was in Chug and Steve, and then David went on to the 3Ds. And give a shout out to David for a belated birthday from a couple of days ago. Happy birthday, David.
He's one of my favorite guitarists. He's just not just his style, but like the way he projects sound is really unlike many guitar players. And the Goblin Mix also were kind of mixed with the band called the Exploding Budgies, right?
Exploding Budgies was like the first iteration of that, I think. And then 3Ds. But he was also in Plagal Grind while they existed.
Right. And 3Ds actually had a kind of major label deal in the States for a little while too, in the 90s when everybody was getting hoovered up. But, got them over here. I got to see them, so I was really...
Yeah, they came over a lot. They were amazing.
Yeah, I was stoked. Awesome. And then we started off with This Bitter Lesson.
Well, we had Hick Hate, or a band called Wasp Factory.
What was their story?
There was all these, there was like 4 or 5, it was like on a label called F-Star, that impossible records to find, from Gisborne. I think it's like a tip of the northern tip of the southern island. But, great 45 EP. I mean, it's an EP, but it's a 7-inch.
Cool. And then we started off with This Bitter Lesson.
With This Bitter Lesson, yeah.
Well, that's it. That's what's in the bag, folks. And sounded great. We're stoked to have had you today, Tom. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Brian.
And we should tell people and direct them to siltbreeze.com to see...
siltbreeze.bandcamp.com. That's where all my stuff is now.
Cool. Are you selling merch, too?
Yeah, there's like T-shirts and, tote bags. And like occasionally I get like people nudging me to buy some stuff. And so I'll have other records up there sometimes.
You got to come up with some floaty pens in the
I want to do a tortilla warmer.
That's a great idea.
Like a Silk Breeze with Gary's design and do a tortilla warmer.
For your floaty pen, you could have Adris from Harry Pussy chasing people around a club. That would be good in the floaty pen. Well, continued success, Tom, with whatever comes from your neck of the woods. We're big fans of Silk Breeze, obviously, and happy to have you on the show once again. Let's not wait 4 more years, hopefully. This is my first guest, by the way, on the new show, so I'm very happy.
I'm honored.
Yeah, I think maybe we'll turn this into some regular thing, hopefully. I do have some folks scheduled in the weeks ahead, but I'm gonna keep my lip sealed until then. But yeah, excellent to have you, Tom. And once again, siltbreeze.com, Siltbreeze Bandcamp. And yeah, anything else?
I can't think of anything. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Tom. I appreciate it. We'll get into something else right now. We'll talk to you shortly here on the program. Stay with us. right, rounding off the show today. Thanks again to Tom Lax for leaving us with a bag of goodies for this afternoon. Definitely have to come back again, do it again. We just played a set of some stuff that I picked out to fill in the show, including right now Steel and Skin, some Afro-punk reggae dub from the Woody Burnt release. Brand new from Singapore. Wow, what a scorcher. That one was from Sial, S-I-A-L, and Kita de la Hirkan Untuk Mati, new on the La Vida SN Mus label. We heard the Neos behind that from the compilation of their stuff. They're from Victoria, BC, Canada. Recordings from 1981 to 83, now out on Supreme Echo Records, called Three Teens Hellbent on Speed. And Jungle Beat, So It Seems, from the Neos. We heard from the Beeks, B-E-E-X, out of a track called Guyana from a compilation of 1979 to 1982 stuff. They were out of Richmond, Virginia. And that is a new reissue out on the Beach Impediment label. And behind that, something from Nora Haight from a collection, also brand new, of some archival stuff from the 80s and 90s called Punks in Peoria, some Illinois underground sounds. Nora Haight did Psychic Man, and we started off that set with Persona from a new release on the Discos Nada label from Sao Paulo, Brazil, where we are broadcasting on Veneno Radio. Lago from Persona, pretty amazing release called Som. Check it out. My name's Brian. Thanks for tuning in. Once again, going to leave you with the Steel and Skin. We'll be back in 2 weeks. And like I said, some special guests are on the way as well. We'll keep you posted. Keeping busy this summer. Hope you are too. And staying well. We'll talk to you soon. Once again, BrianTurnerShow.com for all the archives. Links to Mixcloud, Apple Podcasts. And hello to Efferalgang as well as Danino. And we'll speak soon. And thanks again, Tom. Talk to you later.